Welcome to Bold Women Lawyers live interviews. We have a special treat today. I have my friend Janet Valenza here today, and she is going to talk to us, ladies, about fashion. Now, we're serious lawyers. We do serious business, but we're all interested in fashion, in what we wear, in what we should wear, what we shouldn't wear. And I know that we are all perplexed by looking in a closet full of clothes and not having a clue what we should wear. So Janet's here today to solve all of our problems for us. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let me tell you a little bit about Janet because she is really impressive. She is the president of GOGOgracious, the women's clothing brand. The mission of GOGOgracious is to make it easy for busy women to look and feel great, and we all want that. She has created, through GOGOgracious, SimplySmartStyle, the only clothing company that starts by shopping in your own closet. Can you imagine that? And helping you to develop a versatile, functional wardrobe. The tagline says it all. Comfy to camera and back out again, all without really changing. And I can't wait to hear all about this because I know I struggle with how to best dress myself and why I have a closet full of clothes that I'd never wear and what am I supposed to wear next. So let me bring Janet in. Janet, welcome. We are so happy to have you here today.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. It's great to be here.
So we have, and you know what? Let me tell people a little bit more about your background because it's so impressive because you have done so many different things. She is the past CFO from the Young and Rubicam family of international advertising agencies. That's a position to which she rose during her first 10 years out of college. She holds an MBA from the Stern School at NYU, a bachelor's degree in business from Bucknell, and a degree in fashion design from the Fashion Institute of Technology. So you've got it all, Janet, and we're anxious to hear from you today. I know that, I'm a business coach. You work in the fashion industry, but there is some overlap for sure in what we do because women can tend to lack confidence. And your work really helps them to build that confidence back up. So I'm going to jump in with probably the biggest question most professional women have right now, which is this. So we've been home for 2 years, give or take. A lot of us, and I will include myself sometimes in this, in hoodies and sweatshirts and really comfy stuff, but not dressed up at all. And now we're coming back. For lawyers, courts are reopening, clients are coming back into offices, and we are really stuck as to how we should dress. And you know what? It can just give you a headache just looking into your closet. So tell me, what's your advice? How should we get started in the process now to get back to looking great and feeling great?
Well, Sharon, I like to advise people to start with what's working. A lot of times it's overwhelming to look in there and see a closet stuffed with clothing and think, gee, what should I get rid of? I got to do something. What has to go? And there's emotional issues attached to that. So I advise people to begin with what's working. So whether that's a top, a bottom, a dress, a jacket, something that you can pull out that you really felt good in, that was a favorite of yours perhaps before lockdown. And I'll mention as an aside that sometimes people think clothing is too formal, like their clothing now looks too formal for how everything's gone even more casual. But sometimes a formal piece of clothing can be combined casually. So even if it's something formal that you like, take it out and start with that. So if you don't have the whole outfit together, that's fine. We can help you, beginning with even just a single piece. How does that sound? You think that's something you could do?
I think that sounds great. And I love what you just said, that feeling now, because we've been so casual for so long now that, oh, I'm too formal. Whereas 3 or 4 years ago, you would have never felt that way. So I love that. And I love the idea too of finding something in my closet that I really love. I love to wear because I know it looks good. So I can live with that. So once I figure that out, now what do I do?
Well, the next step really is to, if you haven't already made an outfit out of it, to make an outfit out of it. So when I say that, I mean a complete outfit. So if it's a top, you need a jacket or a sweater, you need a bottom, you need the right shoes, and you also need to punctuate the outfit with accessories. So a lot of people I work with on the Simply Smart Style consultation, they haven't really looked at their jewelry, for example, for 2 years or maybe even longer, and they haven't even thought about that aspect of things. And yet it's so important to be complete. So you have to put all the pieces together that I just named to have a complete outfit. Now, go on. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you were going
I was going to ask you something because as soon as you mentioned shoes, my thoughts went right to I have been in the most comfy flats you can imagine for 2 years. And now I'm starting to go back into heels. It's not easy. That part's not easy.
You're not alone, Sharon. A lot of people have expressed that concern to me, and in fact, we just did some posting on shoes on social media as a result of those questions. Uh, but number one, it's not easy because probably they're less comfortable. But that's a separate topic because even your heels should be comfortable and can be comfortable. But so they're less comfortable and they may not be appropriate, but yet the comfy shoes you were wearing or sneakers or whatever it is you're in aren't going to cut it either, right? When you start going to a school meeting, a networking event, coffee with a client, it's not going to cut it. So the happy medium is a slip-on wedgie shoes. So you get a heel. Yeah, you get a heel. And the fact that it's a slip-on, which comes, high, and what I'm recommending is high up to where the foot meets the leg. So not cut low the way a pump would be, but higher the way a booty would be. So still a pump shape, but with the front a little bit higher. So it almost reads like a boot, but it's not a boot because it's low cut. I can actually grab an example. Do you want
That'd be great. That would be great if you could do that. Sure. Absolutely.
Right. 1 second.
Okay.
This is what
I love examples. And then we're going to go to a question because we do have a question here. So, but let me see what. Okay.
So here, this is how we work, by the way, in the Simply Smart Style consultation. I help people with examples to help them pull things out of their closets. But here is a simple, and the camera goes in reverse.
I can see it.
Yeah, this is a simple wedgie shoe. And what I was talking about a minute ago, this part goes up. Okay, so it almost reads like a booty when you put it on. Doesn't read like a pump. So it really combines casual with business.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
It does. It does. Now we have a question from one of our viewers who is wondering about dressing for court. It's a great question because now, as I said, the courts are open. We've got to start going back. So, typically we lawyers, it's black and blue and maybe gray and not a lot of variations all the time. So tell us what are your thoughts for professional women, professional lawyers going back into court? what do you recommend that is stylish but professional?
Hmm. That's a very interesting question because we do work with a lot of lawyers, and many of them say, "I know what to wear to court, and I have to deal with a lot of men when I'm there, and I don't want to hear anybody calling me the little lady." I heard that recently. you know, so I gotta look serious. I'm dealing with the dudes here. I gotta be ready for the dudes. So people will tell me, I have to look a certain way, and I'm really grappling more with when I'm not in court. So I have to admit I'm no expert on court, but I can because I've been a CFO, but I haven't been representing anyone in court. Um, but having said that, I will tell you that a good answer, especially if you're going to court and then you're going to meet somebody else and then you're going out later and then you're going to pick up your kids, a good answer is a blazer that's made out of an active wear fabric. So it has the cut and the structure of being dressed ready for the dudes. And at the same time, the fabric is an active wear fabric, so it's movable and you can go a little bit more casual with the rest of what you're wearing. Does that make sense to you?
Tell me what you mean by active wear.
Okay. So the jacket that I happen to be wearing would not be for court, but it's a good example of, and we sell this jacket. It's been very popular. We call this our red French active jacket. And when I say active wear fabric, what I mean is it's stretchy and it's made out of the fabric you would have like a warm-up jacket made out of, but this is a very sophisticated structure. And we also sell a jacket made out of fabric like this, but it's cut like a blazer. Okay, so
Okay.
it's an actual black blazer, but it's in the active wear fabric. So it makes it a little bit more versatile, and it's one of the things that I talk about a lot, to combine a casual look with leadership presence is to look for a structured jacket like a blazer in an active wear fabric, something like this that's stretchy, that reads a little more casual. So you're combining that structure of the shape of the jacket with the fabrication, which is a little bit more casual.
And I would think that's much more comfortable.
It is, because you can move in it. You can move in it, whether you're walking or if you're in New York, people are still on the subways or the back on the subways, and sometimes you're holding on, or you're carrying something. If you have an attorney carrying a briefcase, you can actually move in it, and it's way more comfortable. Way more comfortable.
So we have another question. Where do you sell the jackets? So why don't you tell us a little bit about your company and where people can find, what I love, by the way, I love what you have on now. That's beautiful. But where people can find it. And I'm going to put up some contact information for you while you talk.
Sure. Historically, we have put together 7 easy pieces per season, and before lockdown, we sold them in what we called wardrobe salons, where people would come in and try on the jacket and then order it. Once lockdown happened, we started doing that similar type thing on Zoom, but instead of the guest trying the jacket on, I would be trying the jacket on. So for example, I try on this jacket, and I demonstrate the shape of it. I show how the ties, I show the opening. This jacket is beautiful in that it can be worn different ways. Like if I open up this collar, for example, I can have a different type of collar for warmer weather. It's a very versatile jacket, and it can also be worn open. So I would demonstrate the jacket, and I still do that. So right now, that's how we're selling the merchandise. So anybody who is interested, the best thing to do would be to email me at janetv@gogogracious.com, and I can show it to you. It's that easy. And we, you know, what we do, we provide a great deal of service, so we can even help you figure out what to wear this with that's already in your closet, and what size you need. Like, we take like the sizing on e-commerce is like another headache, so we help you figure that out too.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because one of the things that's happened to many people during COVID is you're home all the time, you're eating more, you're not exercising enough, you've put on a little weight, maybe you've lost some now, you've got who knows how many sizes in your closet. How do you figure that out?
That's another reason why people, you know, engage us, because they're confused about that. So the number one thing in looking good is fit. All right. So you have to assess the fit of an item. So I'm just going to button this back up. Um, in assessing the fit of an item, the first thing you want to look at is the shoulder. Okay. So I want to see, does this shoulder fit my natural shoulder? If it's too far down, too far up, then that's an issue. That's a major fit issue. The other thing is like right underneath the bust. Like, so this part of the body, it should fit very well. The rest of it, if it's too big in the middle or it's too long, that can be tailored. So that can be adjusted by a good tailor. But those two areas, the shoulders and the bust, are very important to have for the garment. If it doesn't fit in those two areas, that garment should be eliminated for now. I mean, maybe it's something you decide you want to keep if you're in the process of losing weight, but not now. So that's the way to assess it. The other tip I give is all jackets. You should be able to close all jackets, even if you're wearing them open, because if you can't close the jacket, it doesn't fit properly. So that's another way to tell.
That's a great piece of advice because I've struggled. I know I've struggled with that with different jackets that I love, and you know, many of them can close just fine, but others didn't. It was, you know, uncomfortable, and I would make the mistake of buying it, and I was never comfortable in it. Even though I wanted to wear it open, you can still tell it's just not quite the right size. And so that's the perfect test, that even if you're not going to wear it closed, you should be able to close it, right?
Absolutely. And don't even buy it if it doesn't close.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want, even if you love it, if it's not the right size, it's never going to look good on you. You're never going to look your best in clothing that doesn't fit properly. I'm just closing this up again.
Yeah, I really like that.
Okay.
So I've heard you, I've heard you speak before, and I've talked to you before, and I know that you are a master at being able to work with a limited number of pieces of clothing to make a wardrobe. So I want you to tell us about that. How many pieces, and how do you make a wardrobe for lots of different occasions with a limited number of pieces of clothing?
Well, first of all, I'll say that what I kind of educate about during this process is something that I've worked on in my own closet for 30 years. 30 years. So I'm giving you tips and tricks that I learned from myself, sharing them. So it's not something that I came up with overnight. And I will also tell you that I don't own a lot of clothes, but right now I am at the point where I have in my own closet, I have clothing for every single occasion and every single climate for my lifestyle. So, if somebody invited me to a wedding tomorrow, and it was a wedding I really wanted to go to because because somebody dropped out, the clothes are in my closet, and I feel great in them, and they fit me properly. So it is possible. And I'm going to tell you the way that we do it. We're looking for 10 items and 5 outfits, just to have a rough that a rough idea. And I ask people to bring things with, to come to the meeting with what they'd wear working from home. But the working from home outfit has to include running into your biggest career opportunity while you're out walking the dog. So it's not you in your sweatpants because you never know when that's going to come up, right? So it's an outfit that's comfortable and casual, but can still, look put together and polished. Then
Right. Mm-hmm.
what you wear out for coffee with a client, for networking, for meetings, your children's school meetings. And then the third thing is what you'd wear to go out for the evening for dinner. So starting with those outfits, I get a sense of how you like to dress. And I also get a sense of how you're putting yourself together. And then we start to create outfits where versatility is the number one. And versatility is what I'm asking you to bring anyway, but we start honing in on versatility. So we wear things that can go to, just as I was saying earlier, combining like maybe a blazer with a more casual pair of pants, or having a jacket that's, if you have this, having a jacket that's structured in a more casual fabric. These are the type of things that go in the top 10. And I have found that oftentimes many of my clients are missing some of the basics. So for example, a shell that goes under a blazer, a simple shell, a lot of people are missing that from their closet. Or a nice t-shirt like what you're wearing. That's a great pop color that you're wearing, Sharon.
Thank you.
Especially for spring, like that bright blue, the turquoise spring is great in spring and summer. And that's going to pop like a neutral jacket, whether it's a taupe or a black, you can put a jacket on top of that and it's going to pop it. People are missing pieces like that, like basic pieces. They have gorgeous clothing and gorgeous items, and then those basic pieces are missing. So we might have the top 10, but maybe 2 of those top 10 they don't have yet. And another client I'm thinking of, she had a couple of beautiful cotton blazers. Now, a cotton blazer is the same thing I said a minute ago in a different fabric. It's a structured jacket, but it's cotton. So by definition, it's a little bit more low key and relaxed, a little bit more versatile. You can go to more things. You can go to a business meeting. You can sort of, throw it on with a pair of sneakers too while you're working from home to go outside. Cotton blazers is a really good item. And she had a couple in her closet. So we started with those.
And you know what? That's the interesting thing. I was just thinking this about this, I think, because I have to pack in the next couple of weeks for a trip. If you're able to limit, the amount of clothes that you need because you're able to be versatile with them, it makes packing so much easier when you go away, because you just need a few simple things and you can make it work. Because I tend to overpack and overstuff all the time. And yet I'm understanding now I don't need to do that. It can be much simpler than I'm making it.
You don't. You definitely don't. There's another jacket I'm thinking of, which is like a structured blazer, but it's in like a very soft knit, almost like a fleece, but it's a structured blazer. So that's a great packing item. It's not going to wrinkle. You can put it on with jeans and sneakers, or you can put it on with like a spike heel and dangly earrings to go out to dinner, right? And that piece is going to take you through all of that. So these are the types of things that, with the onslaught of all of the information thrown at women by the fashion industry, like this season's colors and the must-haves and this fad and that trend, and you have to do this and you do that, and hair and makeup and everything else. Those items that we're discussing right now, they get lost in the shuffle. People don't understand that that's what they really need, because it's just so much other stuff out there.
And let me ask you that, when you mentioned trends, and of course, this comes up every season. There are things that are trendy. It might be, I don't know, camisoles one season and ruffles and a lot of flouncy stuff the next season, and big, puffy shoulders the season after that. So where do you stand on the extent to which you should follow or not follow these trends? What do you think?
Well, there's a difference between like a trend and a fad. Okay.
Mm,
A trend is more something that's like fashion going more casual, for example. That's an ongoing trend and something that's important to pay attention to, right? Because no one wants to look dated or formal or stiff or old or or tired. People want to look modern, fresh, contemporary. And that casual trend is sort of facilitates that. But that confuses people too, because we're all going to work. We're professional women. We have to like put our our leadership foot forward, not just be super casual like we're going to yoga and brunch. But anyway, to answer your question about trends and how to follow them, I think that um, my that's a very good question, and my litmus test, so to speak, is what is the shape of it and can I layer it with other things in my closet? So for example, the big shoulders you mentioned, or sometimes the puffy sleeves, or the sleeves that are half sleeves. How am I going to layer this with things in my wardrobe? And that's, you can only learn to do that over time as you're looking at your wardrobe kind of holistically. But for my litmus test is, if it can't be layered with things that you already own, it's probably not something you should invest in. Unless you feel like, I'm going to a party and I really want to, or, I really want to have this wow, show stopping look. But even that, as far as I see it, is something that should be in your closet that works with other things. Like, you can be show stopping and sexy and everything else while still following what I'm saying. So
yeah.
so that's one thing. Can it be layered with things in my closet? And if it really can't, then it's probably shouldn't be in there.
That's great advice. I mean, it really is. I love that. And you mentioned something earlier on about a Simply Smart Style consultation. Tell us what that is.
So that is a virtual consultation. So right in front of your closet, it lasts between 2 and 3 hours, and you come to it with those three outfits I mentioned a minute ago: working from home, meeting people in person, and going out to a special dinner or dinner in the evening. You come there with those outfits, and together we look at them right in front of your closet. We evaluate them for fit, for how you're combining the elements, because many times right in someone's closet I find a gem that they haven't even thought about that actually works better for one reason or another with the outfit. We a lot of times people don't know what shoes to wear, or they're wearing the wrong shoes, so we look at their shoes. We evaluate, we put the shoes on, we take a look at their accessories, and I've discovered that women have amazing like collections of accessories that they don't even think about wearing. So that's what we do during this session. And then you get a written report that's got identifies the 10 key items, the 5 outfits we put together, which all of them, there's maybe one or two is working from home, one or two is going out with clients, and one or two is dinner, and usually get a couple of bonus outfits. But all of them are versatile. None of them are specifically difficult to put together or for only one thing. They all have a level of versatility to them. And then you get a written report, reviewing this and identifying where the holes might be. So you may have 8 of the 10, and with visual references, so photographs of what you should be looking for when you're looking for these items, whether you get them from me or somebody else. You're armed with that shopping list. So when you do shop, you know what you're looking for, and you're not, you don't fall prey and victim to all of this stuff being thrown at you, because you have the outfits already in your mind on paper. You take pictures on your phone during the session. You already know what the initial framework is. So you're shopping to fill those holes. So that's what it is.
Great, great. It sounds great. And if somebody wanted to arrange that, they could email you or call you for that?
Yes, they could call me at my number's up 917-497-5319. They could text me, email me janet@gogogracious.com. If what I often do is we set up a little 15-minute meeting because people have questions, they want to know more about it. And then we can book it from there. There's no pressure to have the little 15-minute meeting. It's free. You can ask whatever question you want. And I don't pressure people to do anything.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. All right. I have one more question before we go, because I've heard you say this before and it stunned me when you said it. And someone was asking a question about, changing their wardrobe because the season was changing. And you said, yeah, I don't do that. And I was stunned. Like, what does she mean? So can you explain that? Like how you can go from season to season without really changing your wardrobe?
Sure. Well, I've worked it out over time so that many of the layers that I'll wear under sweaters in the wintertime are actually my summer tops. So that's one.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes. And I have in the springtime when the weather's changeable, for example, I may be wearing 3 or 4 layers of things that I know work together, where when the weather warms up, I won't be wearing one of those layers. Okay. So it's not a process that happens, overnight, bingo, I have that all together. But if you follow the advice that I'm giving you, and if you need help, I'm happy to help you, then over time you will find that this is the kind of wardrobe you have. And I don't have a lot of clothing. And sometimes people, even my mother, who's gone several years now, she used to say, "You have a lot of clothing." And I'd say, "No, I really don't. I just know how to wear it in ways that it's combined in different ways, depending on the occasion, depending on the weather, depending on what right." And so that's
exactly. Yeah.
the philosophy of I'm the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that my past background as a CFO is really what makes me unique, because it's a philosophy of wearability, price per wear, efficiency, all business concepts that are applied to your wardrobe. So very analytical, very analytical. The fashion, I love fashion, but it's very analytical because professional women don't have time to shop. They don't have time to go through all this agony. They have to put it together and look and feel great. Like you said, with the swagger, someone described it as swagger recently, and not have to put a lot of effort into it. So you can work it out over time where that's the wardrobe that you'll have that'll really serve you.
Wonderful. I just love your advice. Really, focused on keeping it simple but looking great. So, wow, it's just great advice, and I love your system. It's a terrific system, and I'm really going to start focusing on particularly the idea of just you can start layering things, and I don't have to do a big wardrobe change every time the season changes or the temperature changes. Just work with what I've already got. I love it. I love it. I love it, Janet. It's great. Well, listen, this has been delightful. I've really enjoyed having you here. If anyone wants to just talk to you further about this, we have your contact information is up there. I really appreciate you giving us time today, Janet. And let me ask you, as we close, if there was one piece of advice you could give a professional woman about her style and her dress, what would that be?
Well, this will probably sound like a cliche, but less is truly more. So the advice would be, before you purchase something, this is something that I've discovered with people too. Before you purchase something, make sure you have in your mind 80% of the rest of the outfit in your closet. So do not buy it. And now that may not always work out. You may come home and say, gee, I was going to wear it with this, this, and this, and that doesn't really look the way I thought it would, which is okay too, because you should be able to return things. But don't buy it if you don't know how you're going to make that versatile outfit with 80% already in your closet.
Love it. Love it. I will take that to heart. Believe me. Yeah. So thank you, Janet. It's been great. And thank you, everyone who has been listening. Contact Janet for more tips and to get help with your wardrobe, because she's terrific. And I thank you for your time. Now, next week, we're going to have Emily from Backroom Betty's. We're moving into the business processes mode next week, and we're going to talk all about how you can get virtual help and what types of services could be helpful in your solo or small firm. So be sure to join us next week at 2:00, and we will see you then. Have a great week.
Thank you, Sharon. It's great to be here.
Thank you.